Hello students, let us revise what we had studied in the online class on Introduction to Untouchable written by Mulkraj Anand, who is one of the three leading figures of early Indian writers in English, the others being R.K. Narayan and Raja Rao. Untouchable, the novel, was published in the year 1933. Mulkraj Anand won the Sahitya Academy Award for Morning Face. Untouchable is the first novel of Mulkraj Anand where he deals with the social problem of untouchability. Let me discuss the main themes of Mulkraj Anand's novels. He deals with caste system in most of his novels. He also talks about freedom movement, the conflict between tradition and modernity, exploitation of the poor, and the position of women in the Indian society. Mulkraj Anand's characters in his novels are of two types. They are sufferers of social injustice, or they are the upholders of social injustice. So there are victims on one side and perpetrators on the other side. Mulkraj Anand is a novelist of characters and social reality. His novels can be classified as novels of social realism. His characters are real and authentic. They are close to real life. This novel, Untouchable, has the following important characters. They are Baka, who is an 18-year-old boy, his father Laka, brother Raka, and sister Sohini. Apart from that, there are other minor characters such as Havildar Sharat Singh, Ram Charan, Chota, and Colonel Hutchinson, Mary Hutchinson, and others. The entire story of Untouchable is set in a fictitious town called Bulandshahr. So I had also told you that this novel has a preface by E.M. Foster. In the preface, E.M. Foster says that Untouchable could only have written by an Indian, and by an Indian who observed from the outside. No European, however sympathetic, could have created the character of Baka because he could not have known enough about his trouble. And no Untouchable could have written the book because he would have been involved in indignation and self-pity. The preface by E.M. Foster has these lines in which E.M. Foster says that Untouchable couldn't have been written by any other person than an Indian. No European could have written this novel because they do not have sufficient knowledge about the practice of untouchability in India. And he also mentions that the untouchables themselves wouldn't have written it because the condition of their life is so painful that it wouldn't permit them to sit and write about themselves. In the preface, E.M. Foster also says how difficult and how wretched is the life of a sweeper. Like Baka. These are the words used by E.M. Foster. The sweeper is worse off than a slave, for the slave may change his master and his duties and may even become free, but the sweeper is bound forever, born into a state from which he cannot escape. and where he is excluded from social intercourse and the consolation of his religion. An untouchable is never free because it is a family occupation. It runs in their families. The father, if he is a sweeper, the son is also sweeper, and the grandchildren also will become sweepers. So there is no escape from this vicious circle for the untouchables, whereas the slaves can become independent or free in their life in future. But this is not possible in case of the sweepers or the untouchables. So life for them is very difficult, and there is no escape for them in their lives. So we had talked about this, and also in E.M. Foster's preface, he mentions that the whole of this action of this novel takes place in one day. I'll read those lines for you. The book is simply planned, but it has form. The action occupies one day and takes place in a small area. The great catastrophe of touching occurs in the morning and poisons all that happens subsequently, even such pleasant episodes as the hockey match and the country walk, etc. So, here E.M. Foster says that this Untouchable, the entire novel, is the story of one day in Baka's life. Baka is the protagonist of this novel. We also mention the names of Baka's friends. They are Ramcharan and Chota. Chota is the leather worker's son, and Ramcharan is the washerman's son. I had also mentioned that Baka has her sister. Her name is Sohini, and because she belongs to the lower caste, she has been ill-treated by the temple priest. The temple priest tries to molest her, and she cannot react or protest to this particular incident. So these are some of the points that we learnt in our online class. Now I hope this is helpful for you. Thank you so much.